Welcome back to my channel, guys. So I got 3 books that we're going to talk about. It's part of a little series. They're complete standalones and they're slow burn. I know some of you are like, no slow burns. But these are actually good and they burn really good, guys, okay? So the author is J.T. Geissinger, I think is how you pronounce it. This author has some of the best banter with her characters. I don't know what it is. Maybe her humor and my humor they just match, but I think she has some of the best in any of her books. Every time I read one of her books, the banter just gets me every single time. So anyway, let's start with book number 1, which is Burn for You. Now, book number 1, I loved book number 1. It's, let's see, Jackson is Mr. Yes, Please. He's kind of this grumpy, rich, grumpy billionaire, kind of loner, comes off kind of rude. And the heroine in the book is Bianca, and I loved Bianca. I absolutely loved her. She doesn't take no crap from him, okay? And she stands up for herself, and she owns this restaurant. So Jackson goes into this restaurant one day and into her restaurant and immediately leaves a bad impression. He comes off like actually very rude and arrogant, and she's just like, the audacity of this man. So what happens is he gives her a proposition, like an offer she can't really refuse, and so they're kind of forced, interaction, and of course they're butting heads, so the banter is fantastic, and they're all slow burns, but this is good, guys. This has it all. It's got a little bit of spice. It's got a good story here. The tension between Mr. Yes Please and the heroine is just so good. Of course, they get their happy ending. They got to go through some stuff in order for that to happen. But this one I really loved. Also, one of the funny parts in the book, if you've read this one, did you not find one of the scenes he bursts into the kitchen and he blurts something out, and she is just thinking, the audacity of this man. Are you insane? You are an insane person. It was just so funny. I found a lot of the book, it had like really cute moments, and yeah, I thought it was a good slow burn for slow burn. I know some of you don't like the slow burns, but I do. Some of them, I get it. I get some slow burns are just like, get to the point already, but these are actually really good. So that's book 1, Burn for You. Again, complete standalone. You don't have to read these in order or anything. Book number 2 is Melt for You. And that is Cameron and Jolene. I think most of you are going to like Cameron and Jolene's story. Now, the heroine, she is kind of a wallflower, okay? She doesn't really have a whole lot of confidence. And Mr. Yes Please is a tattooed athlete, and he's also Scottish. So already he is just drop dead gorgeous. And so they meet because he moves into the apartment across from hers. And at first she's just like, oh God, this guy, she's kind of annoyed by him. And eventually they meet, and now Jolene has the hots for somebody at work. But she doesn't know. She's not confident. She doesn't know, like, what do I do? How do I get this guy to notice me? Well, Cameron says, I'll help you out there, honey. Well, through their little adventure here, he realizes he really likes her, and he's literally trying to help her get with somebody else. So that's how these two are involved. There was a lot of funny moments in this one. One in particular, which I could totally relate to. I'm thinking back to like 18-year-old me when I got my first apartment. So there's moments in this book where she's looking out of her peephole because Cameron is an athlete, so he works out and he gets up really early for his morning run, but he stretches in the hallway. Here's Jolene peeking through the peephole, trying not to let him know that she's on the other side of the door. I just found it so cute and so funny, but this one, Cameron and Jolene actually had some funny parts. But yeah, they get their happy ending, just like in book 1. Book 2, they get their happy ending, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I think a lot of you are going to like this one better than the first one, although the first one is my favorite because I love the Grumpy Gus guys. That's just me. All right, so, and of course there's some spice. There's not a ton because, like I said, these are all slow burns. You know how that goes. All right, book number 3 is Ache for You. Now this one, the heroine is Kimber, and she's kind of like a broke seamstress from the U.S. Well, Mr. Yes Please is Mateo. Now what happens is she has a family member that passes away. So she has to go to Italy to take care of business. Now, the family member who passed away owns a little shop. Well, Mr. Yes Please happens to be this rich fashion mogul, right? Like he owns a fashion business, and he's Italian, and he's drop dead gorgeous, but he's also an arrogant prick. So these two really butt heads immediately. Like, he's kind of a bully and, you know, kind of a jerk. And she decides, you know what? I'm not going to let you push me around. So she decides she's going to stay in Italy and she's going to show him. Well, when you find out who Mateo is, I'm not going to tell you, but there's a little twist there that Kimber, she wasn't expecting. So anyway, this one has fashion vibes. It's got great banter. The tension between these two is just so good. It's so good. But eventually they get their happy ending, but they got to go through some stuff, of course, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be a good book. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's some spice, there's great banter. This is set in Italy. What more could you want, right? It's good. All 3 of these books are really good. I think if you're going to just pick one of them, maybe go with Cameron and Jolene. That's book number 2, Melt, for you. Okay? But overall, for slow burns, these are some of my favorite. They really are, especially book 1 and book 2. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.